Hello people of the internet, welcome to Paint to Life episode 37, the YouTube channel where we take tiny plastic miniatures, throw some acrylic paint on them, and breathe life into them with storytelling so you might learn something new on the subject or perhaps find something to use in your own campaign. If this is your first time here, welcome. If you like my storytelling and content, please click subscribe and the little bell if you want to be notified when my new episodes come out on Saturdays. And also if you're a painter, you can follow the painting video that runs up there in the corner. It gets released subsequently on the Tuesday after the episode has aired. Finally, this is the last week of the contest. I'll be giving away a Nozel's Marvelous Miniatures Kraken to a lucky viewer. So if you're interested in that, stick around to the end of the video to find out how to enter. You have until December 4th to do so. Other than that, I'm GM Atank. Let's get painting. Alright, last week we painted a Reaper Bones miniature and learned the story of Octavia Netheridge and her half-orc bastard son Krogan. You can check that out up there if you missed it, if your browser supports it, or at the end of the video as well. There'll be a link to it if you want to check that out. If you don't know who H.P. Lovecraft is, that's okay. He was virtually unknown during his lifetime, and he was almost exclusively published in pulp fiction magazines before his death in 1937 at the age of 46. But he's now regarded as one of the most significant 20th century horror authors, influencing the likes of authors such as Stephen King, John Carpenter, GM Atank. An ongoing theme in Lovecraft's work is the complete irrelevance of mankind in the face of the cosmic horrors that apparently exist in the universe. Lovecraft made frequent references to great old ones, a loose pantheon of ancient, powerful deities from space who once ruled the earth and have fallen into a death-like sleep. Of all the strange and malefic denizens of the void between the stars, few cause the same terror as this titanic race known as the star spawn of Cthulhu. They hail from a mad star whose light cannot even be seen with a conventional telescope, and even the smallest of these behemoths stand nearly 30 feet in height. Similar in appearance to their patron Cthulhu, these immense bodies of rubbery flesh that seems to wriggle and seethe as a half-solidified ooze. They have tremendous draconic wings with murderous taloned hands and a tentacled visage that evokes the alien gaze of an octopus, completing the monstrous look of the creature. They work upon the worlds that they invade to wipe clean of all indigenous life in preparation for the eventual time when the deep void expands to replace all that exists with its strange realities. Yet while Cthulhu lies in a death-like slumber deep under a vast ocean somewhere in the cosmos in the corpse city of Rella, probably pronouncing that wrong, his dreams resonate still in the minds of his children, and from there, touch upon the dreams of many slumbering poets and philosophers on countless worlds, including in the Forgotten Realms, the world of Toril. But even closer to home, Earth. A middle-aged woman stands on the ferry dock for who knows how long, getting slightly damp from the moisture in the air. The boat toots its horn and unloads its passengers. The return trip off the island is 2 hours from now. She looks for Howard and Philip in the parking lot, but does not see them. Hey, you've reached Howard, Sonia, and Philip, keepers of the lights here on Swan Point. We can't take your call right now, leave a message.
Howard, it's Sonia. Are you ever planning on changing that voicemail? I'm here and you're not. I expected to see you and Philip at the dock as we discussed. I let you take him this weekend, but you know I have to work tomorrow and how stressed this job is making me. Hurry up, please.
After an hour of twirling the golden heart locket around her neck and humming songs to herself all alone, she's had enough. She looks to hail a cab, but there are none about. The sun will be setting soon, and a storm is on the horizon. Her matrimonial home and the lighthouse that flanks it is only about a mile away, so she starts to walk. She'll get her ex, Howard, to drive her and her son, Philip, back to the dock when she gets there. Hey, you've reached Howard, Sonia, and Philip, keepers of the lights here on Swan Point. We can't take your call right now, leave a message.
I've been waiting in the cold for almost an hour. Where are you? I'm walking now because heaven forbid the town of 200 people won't allow Uber, so I'm stuck with one lousy cab company. Howard, I've had it with you and this place. Once Philip and I get back to the city, I want to make this official. I'm done.
As Sonia approaches the long driveway of the property, she sees a strange purple glowing light on top of one of the cobblestone fence pillars. As she gets closer, the purple light gets dimmer and dimmer until finally she's standing in front of it and it's gone completely. It's just black. It appears to be a rune of some kind carved into the stone. It must be maybe a Halloween decoration. It's quite beautiful work, but she would never tell this to Howard. His ego is big enough already. Music greets her ears as she ascends the sloped driveway. It's not contemporary music, it's older, it's classical. There's Howard's car in the driveway. Headlights are on, keys in the ignition with the radio playing. She reaches in and turns off the stereo and calls for Philip and Howard.
Philip! Howard!
She heads around to the back of the house. She sees the bluff overlooking the cold, dark ocean below. She could get a good vantage of the whole property from there, but she doesn't like that place. She turns around and looks down at the town in the distance and sees most of the lights started to come on. It's almost completely dark. The clouds have almost completely blotted out the moon and the stars, and it's starting to rain. Out of old habit, she lets herself in the front door, expecting to see Philip's luggage sitting on the floor, but it's not there. The house is very clean, unusual for Howard when Philip is visiting. Now Sonia can hear the TV and the PlayStation running in the basement. She hates it down there. The house and the lighthouse are over 150 years old, and when they bought the place, the realtor had to share with them the story of 7 shipwrecked crew members who had washed ashore about 100 years ago and were forced to weather a nor'easter winter storm in the keeper's house. When the snow was finally cleared, the townsfolk found the 7 men and the lighthouse keeper in the basement cellar of the house. They were hidden behind a trap door that had been barricaded and locked from the inside, and all the men had starved to death. She calls for Howard and her son Philip as she descends into the basement when, suddenly the power surges and all lights and sounds go out. As her eyes adjust to the glow of her cell phone, she sees what looks like a human silhouette against the wall.
Hello?
She stammers as she clutches at the heart-shaped locket.
Mommy, is that you? I need help. They're looking for me, Mommy. Please help.
Her cell phone suddenly disconnects and the lights come back on.
Philip?
The room is empty. Just then she hears the large metal door of the lighthouse slam, and out of the basement she runs and into the rain of the backyard. Once inside the lighthouse, Sonia gasps and calls again for Philip as she dashes up the circular iron staircase. At the top, Sonia sees the bright floodlight of the lighthouse turning slowly. The wind from the storm blows in through an open window and rain batters against the glass. There's a pool of blood on the floor and a crimson spatter across the light. A large brass winch used for the light adjustment is bent, bloodied, and on the floor. Her phone rings again. It displays Howard's cell. She answers.
Philip?
She cries out in anguish and quickly dials him right back when, to her astonishment there, beside her on a small utility table, Howard's phone vibrates noisily. Out of the blue there is a loud crack of thunder and lightning, and again all lights go out, including the lighthouse beacon. In the distance, the town is completely dark, and Sonia's eyes drift out to the open ocean. Another flash of lightning illuminates a massive humanoid figure walking towards the shore. An octopus-like head with tentacles for its mouth. Abruptly, the generator kicks on, and all of the lights come back up, including the beacon. The blood is gone, the brass winch is back on the table, and Howard stands at the door.
Sonia? What's wrong?
I was calling you. Why didn't you answer? Where is he?
My phone is up here. What are you talking about? You're drenched, honey. Where have you been? I've been looking for you.
Where is he, Howard? What have you done with Philip?
Oh, no, not again. We've been over this, honey. Philip, he's gone.
You were supposed to be at the dock. He called me scared. What did you do to him?
Sonia, our Philip has been dead for over a year. He fell off the bluff into the sea. Look in your locket.
Hands trembling, she opens the heart-shaped locket around her neck and sees a memorial picture of her son.
You liar! Give me my son!
She grabs the brass winch and strikes him across the head. Crimson blood strikes the lighthouse light. His neck makes a sick sound as his head strikes the floor and a pool of blood escapes from his body. Now, in the pouring rain she stands, on the outer walkway of the top of the lighthouse. Her eyes, now adjusted to the dark outside, spot her son, standing on the bluff, in the rain, looking right up at her.
Philip!
She tears down the steps of the tower and onto the grassy field atop the bluff where her son stands, atop the precipice. Frantically, she sprints towards him with her arms out to pick him up. As she lists forward to within a foot of him, suddenly his visage changes, his eyes turn into black, void pools, his teeth look filed and sharp, and his arms have tentacles where hands should be, and just like that, he disappears. She tries helplessly to stop, but she has too much momentum, and she carries herself right over the cliff face, falling off of the rocks into the water below. In the news tonight, tragedy on Swan Point. A murder-suicide rocks the community, and the latest in misfortunes to befall the old lighthouse on Innsmouth Road that has been a staple of the community for almost 150 years now. Husband and wife Howard and Sonia Thurston, who just last year lost their young son Philip in a freak accident, were found by police earlier this week. While the investigation continues, the sheriff wants to stress to the public that you are indeed safe. Here's Tom with the weather. So, that's that. What an episode. I had a blast making that one. Special thanks to my wife Jen for again playing the role of Anguished Mother, as well as Zero's Hobbies from my Tabletop Dungeoneering Discord channel, who's down with Cthulhu and gave me the name for this antagonist tonight. Etsakinmu, Madness Incarnate, for the shelf. So, speaking of terror from the deep, here is the Kraken, and this is it. Last call to win it. If you want to win this bad boy, I'll repeat for the third time, this is what you have to do. Like this video, subscribe to Paint to Life, and email me at painttolife@gmail.com a story about who this Kraken is or what his deal is. You submit that to me, and I will be reviewing them. The entries close on December 4th, and I will reveal the winner on next week, episode 38 of Paint to Life. Then. Special thanks to my friendly local gaming store, Phoenix Rising, for donating this beast again. And head on down to Phoenix Rising or your friendly local gaming store to pick up a brush, some paints, and some miniatures and get into this painting hobby. Remember, we release these painting videos for tabletop-ready, sick-looking miniatures that you can paint yourself. Trust me, I'm no professional. If I can do it, you can do it too. Those videos get released on Tuesday at 5 o'clock, where these episodic videos come out on Saturday at 5 o'clock. So, otherwise, that's all I have for you guys tonight. I'm GM Atank. Thanks for watching. Watch your hands, people. I think for next week, I'm going to paint this Frost Giant, which I've already done, but I'm going to try something different. Maybe like a Santa theme?